Hello and welcome to another one of our Carantoc Arts little videos on how to make something. I did a little poll on Facebook. If you're not following us already, feel free. It's under Carantoc Art. And as to what we should make next. And the biggest result was that we should show how to make a really simplified hare. Hares seem to be forever popular. So this is this is a simplified one. So we've got a little hare here with key salient features, and I'll show you how to make one of these. When you're making any animal and you're doing a caricature, you need to think about what actually makes that animal what it is. And with a hare, the key things you need to have are big ears, big feet. If it was a cat, it would be the ears and the face. Likewise with the fox. And if you can get hold of the sort of the key salient parts of a creature, you can actually break it down, make it really simple, and create something that people will recognise as, in this case, a hare, without actually needing an awful lot of elements to it. So, to make this fella, first of all, we need to have a cone shape. So in another video, I showed you how to make cones and make cone templates out of by cutting around a circle and then cutting it up into small pieces. So what I've got here is I've cut round a bowl and then folded it in half, folded it in half again, and give me a quarter segment. And this, when curled up, then will give me the right size for the body of my hare. If you want to make a bigger hare, then you're going to need a bigger bowl. If you want to make a smaller hole, you make a smaller bowl. You have to, if you're trying to guess how big it's going to be, if you actually get your bowl and you sort of work out roughly where the middle is and measure it with your fingers, that will then give you an indication about how high it's going to be when it's finished. So this isn't going to be a very big one, but then I don't want it to be very big. So what I've then done is I've rolled out some clay with my guide sticks, and I've rolled it out to a nice even 6mm in thickness, like that, and then cut out the shape. Now you can see there are some air bubbles in here, so I'm just going to make sure that we've got those out. But it doesn't really matter too much. What would happen is if these were fired, and now you might find little bits blow out of your clay. I'm not too worried for this hare. One side's okay. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to score up one side, like that, with my knife. Then I've got some slip here that I prepared. This time of year at the moment, we're running down towards the end of the year, and our slips are getting a bit lumpy. So I get some on there, and I paint some liquid clay, basically, down the join, like that. Put that out the way for a minute. And then I'm going to wrap them round, so I coax it round until I can get the two sides together. And the best thing I find is to start at the bottom, like that, and then, if you like, zip it up all the way to the top. So I want those sides to go nice and tight together. We don't want any overlap. They should meet face to face all the way up to the top. Okay, like that. Okay. Then, to make sure they're going to stay connected, put that out of the way for a minute. I'm going to get a little bit of clay here, a bit of spare clay. I'm going to roll it into a little worm, like that. Paint some slip on it. Back here, what people can see. Like that. Then I'm going to get my cone and lie it down like that, and then get this piece of clay, and I'm going to put it inside along that join, all the way up to the top, like that. And then, using a lollipop stick that I've got here, I'm just going to smooth it down all the way up one side of the join and all the way down the other. So for this session, I've been relegated out of the main studio. I'm actually in the little shed that we've got, which is called the workshop. Most of the time it isn't the workshop so much as the dumping ground for all the stuff that we haven't got room for in the studio. So I have a bit of a tidy up, but even so it's still a bit of a mess, so I do apologise. Okay, like that. Then on the outside, I'm just using my thumb, I'm going to just smooth it down. Now if you find that when you're smoothing it, it gets rougher than when you started, it's probably because your hands need a clean. So just what I've just done there is I've just dipped my fingers in some water, dried them so they're clean, and then you can use that. Of course, if you've got a kidney or a credit card, you can use that as well. Make sure your kidney's clean, otherwise you make grooves in it. So I can do that, smooth it down. Okay. Now for this very sort of simplified hair, I want to try and keep this as smooth as I can because I think it works better that way. So that's the main body of our hair. Okay. Bring the top in like that. Okay. Now where the join is, I'm going to make this the front of the hair. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to bring the banding wheel into play. Just make life a little easier. Okay, make sure you can still see it. And where that join is, I'm just going to push this in, curve it in, and this is going to make the front legs of our hair. Like that. So I'm just shaping it in, make a fold. Try and keep it nice and clean and even, like that, and then pinch those in a little bit, like that. Okay. And just again, clean my finger, smooth it down, nice and clean, as clean as we can manage. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to start working on the head. This bit right at the top is actually going to be the top of the actual lower part of the mouth, strangely enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip that over like that. Okay. And then I'm going to get some clay. I have got the worst banding wheel of the world here because this one has got very good bearings, so it will continue to go round even when you don't want it to. I'm going to get a nice big lump of clay. Because of the size I'm working on, about the size of a marble. This might be too big, we're about to find out. I like to give them nice big oversized cheeks, so we'll find out whether this is just going a bit too far in a minute. So roll them up. Okay. Oh, I think we'll go with those. They are quite big and chunky, but we'll see. Always take them off and do them again. So put some slip on them, attach them on the top there, one on each side. Some slip on them. Okay, like that. There you go, lovely big fat cheeks this fella's got. Next, I'm going to give him a nose. So what I do is I'm going to make a little worm of clay, and then at one end I'm going to pat it flat like that and shape it into a triangle at the end. Now the mistake a lot of people make when they're making these is to think the nose goes that way. It doesn't. The pointed bit goes in the fold between the cheeks. So having done that, put some slip on it. Okay. And then we attach it into there. Okay. And then round the back, so it's sticking out, we just bring it down and work it in to the body. So these are very simplified hair, this one. And then what I'm going to do as well, I'm now just going to work these cheeks in to the nose. Like that. And there, and then do the same on the other side. Can't do it backwards, I'll do it that way. Okay, again, keep your fingers clean. Always have a pot of water ready to clean your fingers. You might find, if you're into using different tools, you might find some tools better than others. Of course, a lollipop stick is quite handy in this situation. I find a lollipop stick handy in most situations. But I can just work there a little bit with that as well. Okay. So very stylised head, but you see it does look a bit like a hare's head. So the next thing that makes a hare look like a hare is, of course, the ears. And again, we're going to make really big, oversized ears. Nice big floppy ones. So I've got a piece of clay here I rolled out. Move that to one side for a minute so we can get this into shot. And then finding where I've left my knife, which I'm forever losing. I'm going to cut this in half first of all, so I've got two pieces. And then I'm going to cut one of these into a leaf shape. So basically, starting at a point, coming to a point, and the same on the other side. Like that. Something like that sort of shape. Okay. Then I use that as a template to cut the other, because the one thing you do want to have is the ears more or less the same size. Otherwise it does look a bit weird. Of course you can be as weird and wacky as you want, but I like to have my ears the same size. Okay, cut that there. So I've got 2 ears. Really big ones. Okay, so these are really big oversized ears. That's fine for me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shape them a bit. So I'm going to smooth down the edges so they don't look quite so square. And I do quite like these to be a little bit sort of rough and ready. I think they look nice that way. So I'm going to pinch them in a bit. So I've got a little bit of a wavy edge. That one. So that's the bit that's going to attach to the head, that flat bit. Do the same on the other one. Make sure I've got a little groove in there. So let's just work that out. And then again, keeping my fingers clean. Just pinch that out a bit, make it a little bit more funky, a bit more wavy, a bit less like a slab of clay. Okay. Then I'm just going to shape them in. Let's curve them like a pair of ears. There we go, some nice wonky ears there. One there, and another one here. Okay. Then get my hair back. These are going to attach either side of the nose like that. So get some slip on the back. Use a bigger brush. Get some slip on the back. Might rough it up just a little bit just to make sure it's going to stay stuck. Okay, and then attach one ear there. Okay, like that. And work it in to attach to the side of the head there. There you go. Okay, like that. And let's just tidy that up a little bit there. Okay, right. Put his ear around a little bit more there. Then the other ear. Same again, put some slip on it. Score it. Okay, attach it. Like that. Get really big funky ears, this fella. Okay, and then again, just smooth that in. Okay, that. Okay. Right. Now, the next thing that makes a hare, of course, is nice big feet. So we've already got his front feet here, so we're just going to finish off giving him some paws on his front feet, and I'm going to do this just by getting 2 lumps of clay, it's about the same size. Stay there, right. 2 lumps of clay about the same size. They are not, so I'm just going to make that one a little bit bigger and that one a little bit smaller. Like that. Okay. Then flatten them off a bit on one end, add a bit of slip, attach them to the bottom of that folded piece of clay. Like that. So work them in, make sure they're attached. Like that again, clean my fingers. In case you're wondering, yes, I do end up with a very soggy apron at the end of these. Like that. Okay. If I'm really well organised, I remember to bring a towel, but mostly I have to rely upon drying things off my apron. So let's get a little bit of slip onto that one. So these are just the front feet we're working on at the moment. We're going to do the back feet in just a minute. Lollipop stick, get that worked in, firmly attached. You don't necessarily have to do this bit. I have done these where I just left it as a cone without any front feet at all. It's entirely up to you. Okay, put that on. Okay, so we've got front legs. Just accentuate that fold. So its front legs go all the way up. There we go, tuck that in. Okay, now a hare's not a hare without some back legs, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some. Now, again, up to you whether you want to give him hips. I do like to give mine hips, so I'm going to find my rolling pin. I can roll this out a bit. So I've got the banding wheel that refuses to stay put. So this is a cheap banding wheel from eBay. These bearings are really good. Unfortunately, unfortunately don't want a handling wheel with bearings that are really good, really. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to chop this piece of clay in half and measure it up the side of the hair. So ideally you want the top of the hip, as it were, to be about halfway up the hair. So that would be perfect if I go with that. So I'm going to cut that into a triangular shape, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use that as a template for the other one, which I've got here. Come back here. Hopefully, it'll be about the right size. Like that. Okay, so we've got 2 hips. Then score it as usual. Some clay on it, slip, and attach it to either side of the body. And when doing this, you've got to make sure you don't get any air trapped underneath these pieces or it'll blow off. So I'm going to start by pressing it down in the middle, all the way up, and then work out to the sides to make sure that's not got anything underneath it which is going to cause a problem. And then do the same with the piece on the other side. Put that on there. Again, make sure they're straight. And again, press from the middle out to the outside to make sure there's nothing trapped underneath it. Okay, so he's got some hips, very stylized ones. Just press I'm just going to take the top off the point of the triangle now. Give him his knee, as it were. Okay. Now I want some feet. Get nice big fat feet. I'm going to roll out a piece of clay and making sure it's reasonably the same thickness all the way along. Cut it in half. This might yet be my 2 feet. Let's have a look. Yeah, I need a little bit of work yet. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to flatten them a little bit and shape them. So they go around like that. Remember not to make them too thin. These are going to be stuck out, so if they're too thin, they're going to snap off. They're going to be thick enough. So I like them to extend well in front of the front feet. So bring this back on camera. So I'm just going to smooth and shape it. Make sure they're both the same size when you're finished. So yeah, you see one slightly longer than the other. I don't know if you can see that, pick that up. So what I'm going to do is straighten them up, make them both the same size. And then to fit them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the corner one so it sticks in like that. Now this is where we decide whether or not that's the right length. I think he should have bigger feet, so we're going to redo that. Big ears, big feet. Let's do that again. So say it's okay to do things, you look at it and you think, I'm not sure actually. I think I might want to redo that. That's absolutely fine. That's what learning is all about. And experts all over the world will tell you, you know, it doesn't always come first time. Sometimes you have to look at it and do it again. That's probably better. So let's make that stay. Make that round at the end. That's one nice round foot. Do the same with the other one. Round it off. Flatten it a little bit. Okay, get my fingers up so I can get that nice and tidy. Okay, that one, as you can see, it's pretty rough on the end, so let's tidy that off again. Okay. Remember, I'm not actually adding any water to this. When I put my fingers in the water, I dry them again before I do anything, because I don't want to make this clay even wetter than it already is. Okay, let's try again. So I'm going to cut the corner off that one. That's better, I think. Cut the corner off that one. Obviously opposing corners, so they fit in like that. That's better. Then score all the way. Add some slip. Attach it like that. Same on the other one. Score, slip, attach to the hip like that. Okay. Again, I'm going to tuck his front legs in a bit more now. Straighten them up, get them tucked in. There we go. Now, to make sure our legs stay attached, we're going to have to add a little bit of clay. So I'm going to make a little worm and paint that on there. and then I'm going to put that around there, like that. Whoops, broke it off too short, so I'll put a little bit more on there. Oh dear, put that bit of slip on it, not sticky enough. Okay, like that. And then using a good old lollipop stick, let's smooth that in. Make sure that's in nice and tight. So it's not going anywhere. And smooth it into the body. Well, like that. There we go. I don't want to smooth this triangle in too much. But what I can do now to make that look a little bit more like a leg and a bit less like a triangle is to just use the lollipop stick just to make a little groove up from the back of the foot, like that. But that is entirely up to you. So whether you want to do that or not. Do the same on the other side, a little bit of a worm. Go around there. And that's probably a little short, so let's go a little bit more. And you don't have to get your worms perfect all the time. Unfortunately, this one has acquired a bit of... this looks like Mr. Tig's fur. Yeah, it's about the right length. Bit of our cat's fur. Tuck that in there. I'm just discussing the other day how Tigsy is now about 14 years old. What are we going to do when Tigsy finally is not with us anymore? He has become quite a feature of the pottery over the years. Okay, let's smooth that in there. Okay, like that. And then up there. Okay. Locked in. Again, always remember that the best pottery tools are the ones attached to your hands. Sometimes nothing can beat your fingers. Okay, slip that in there. Okay, and again, I'm just going to make a little groove up. Tuck his leg in. Now, the next bit is really important, but also quite tricky, because we need to make sure that these legs and feet stay attached. So we've got to lift this without losing any legs or feet. And you can see here underneath you've got these joins which are visible. We've got to get rid of these, otherwise it's like to fall off. If you've got a big hole like I have there, it's a good idea to put some clay in it and then fill it in. So I'm going to use again my good old lollipop stick, smooth everything in. I mean, not only does it make sure the feet won't fall off, it does make it look a little bit better underneath. It's a little bit more professional. Smooth it off, smooth the underside of the triangles as well. Okay, and that will then make sure that everything stays put. Smooth it off with my fingers. Okay, this time I can also sort of tidy up the back, which you can see has got pushed in a little bit, which I don't want. Make sure everything's nice and firmly attached. Down you go. Okay, right, then it comes down to the last minute finishing. But we are still missing something that is vitally important to every hare. No hare can run without a tail. So the tail is simply a flame sort of shape, or if you're not sure, just a diamond shape. So if I cut here a nice fat diamond like that, and then attach that up there, I'll give us our hare's tail. Again, scrape, slip, make sure that that's roughed up. Okay, put it in place, jiggle it around till it stops moving. Okay, and then at the bottom I'm just going to smooth it in at the base, like that. And there he is, one simple hare. Okay, all it needs now is just perhaps a little bit of tidying up, key corners and places, just to make sure his legs look a bit tidier. Just straighten that up there, straighten that up there, smooth it as necessary, and we have a simplified hare. You can, of course, if you want to, and this is entirely up to you, you can add eyes. The simplest way to do them is to get a ball-ended tool. Whoops, put an eye on his ear, and then put it in. There we go, eye there, eye there. But with this stylized type of hair, you don't even necessarily to do that. I might make him a bigger eye actually. Use the other end of the ball-ended tool. Give him a bigger eye. There we go, one there, and one there. There we go. one finished simple hare. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.